Hello, everyone. Welcome to One by One, a podcast where we uncover the stories, strategies, and secrets behind extraordinary success. I'm your podcast host, Robert Murigi, and you'll be building each other from the ground up. Join us as we uncover the blueprints of building a life, a career, or a business from the ground up. Subscribe now and never miss an episode from us. And on our today's podcast, we are going to be looking into yet another proverb, and this one says that skills is knowing which wrench to use, and wisdom is knowing when to use it. When we talk about these two things, we have to know and we have to strike the balance between the skills and wisdom. What do we do when we are choosing the right wrench? That is where we talk about skill versus the wisdom. When you perform that job very effectively and very efficiently, we can say this person has the ability to do this job, and this we can refer as a skill. But when we talk about knowing the right range, this can mean that the difference between a well-done job and a disastrous job. Skills are honed through practice, study, and experience. When you pay attention to that books or those notes that you are getting, or that reading materials you're getting for that particular skill that you want, and you also pay time to practice what you have learned from those books, and also now you put it into practice, this is what we can say it is a good cycle where you get the practice, study, and also you get the experience. And now that we know the right tool to use, which we call the skill, but are we only limited to the big toolbox and big specialized tools that we have in our toolboxes? I think it goes beyond this. When we talk about coding, or when we are teaching other people, and even that interpersonal skills that you have with other people, this can also be referred as good skills. Knowing which tool to use is not only the thing that we need to have. For you to have the full equation on this, you also need to know that this wrench, when I have this tool and I have this wrench and I have this socket, which one is good for this particular job that I'm doing? We have a remote places where we have bolts. We have bolts which, if you open them, there are other parts which are going to fall under the vehicle. This can also be illustrated very well with what we want to talk about next. And therefore, this intangible quality where you know that apart from knowing which tool to use, there are other things that need to be considered for this particular job to be successful. This is what we refer as the wisdom. It's about making that right decision or that judgment that are informed through experience, or sometimes insight, or sometimes your intuition. Your intuition be telling you that if you are following this, if I open this particular bolt, through the experience that I have had with this training and all the jobs I've been doing and the paying attention that I have done in the past, this thing can fall under and it can damage another component. And therefore, wisdom often asks the hard questions. What are these questions that we normally get? What is the right time for me to do this particular thing? Is this the right age for me to do this? Or is this the right time for me to quit this particular job? Or what are the potential consequences of using this particular wrench instead of using the spanner? Let us continue thinking about a mechanic job. Because one day we had this particular project where we are doing a job, and we had a tube where if you open the bolts from outside, you had to remove everything else because the tube was closed up, and by any mistake the bolts fell inside. So many other things could have been damaged by that small action. So therefore, you needed to understand the whole thing and how the whole thing works, and also use some intuition and see that if I did this, this will be the consequences, and this will bring big damage to the company. And this is where we normally look beyond what we are just doing at that particular time, but we look beyond and we see if this thing did not go well, or I did not prioritize the assessment, or I did not do a holistic job around doing the paperwork and documentation, something might go wrong even if the job has been well done. Think about that job you did and you had all the skills and you have been trained to do that particular job, but you felt that the results were very dissatisfying or the results were not good. You are not happy with the result or even the people in charge of you. But what happens? This is the difference between skills and wisdom. And at this point, we are going to look at how are we able to find the balance between the two. Because if we need both for you to have successful work, then you need to know how to bring the balance into an equation. It starts with self-awareness or continuous learning this particular skill. How do you do this so that you are able not to get all the information in when it is required? The one thing that we need to do for us to get this one correctly is every time we finish that particular thing, anything that you do, it is good to sit down and ask yourself what worked and what did not work. This can bring you a speedy insight around the thing that you are doing and also for next time. And therefore, the other things that we can do very well is to make sure that we work with other people, we collaborate, and also we get people to mentor us around the things that we are doing so that these people, they already have the experience and they have the wisdom and they have the skills which is required for that particular thing. Otherwise, you spend all your time trying to catch up in this life. And with the fast-paced world where the experience is becoming very vital, we also find that the knowledge that we find in this life, it is important to acknowledge that life is a teacher by itself. But how do we respect this teacher so that we can get all the information in? Each experience, successful or not, that one will provide us with a lesson that feed us with that understanding, and that one can help us to become better in our life. And therefore, when you are in that workplace and you are a boss or you are the one who is leading the team, having all the skills to do the job without consulting your teammates or your juniors, it is not a good thing. This one may lead you to fail on that particular thing that you want to do, even if you had all the knowledge and skills. The other place where this one applies very well is in our relationships. When you have that heated argument, you know when to stop. You know when to wait for everything to cool down for you to talk, because this can also lead to bringing more trouble in the future. But this is where empathy comes into action and understanding that timing is just as important as delivery. And the other thing that we can look at this is when we want to grow, that is personal growth. You see, when you want to develop that new skill, it is good and it is all the best thing that you can do for yourself. But remember that wisdom often involves knowing when to take a break or a step back. Therefore, don't be afraid to lift that head outside your toolbox and look around and see what is happening. And a call to all my viewers and my subscribers to remember that it's not just about having the right tools, but knowing how and when to use them. You see, skills is an essential component of success, and we all know that. But wisdom adds the invariable layer of judgment, perspective, and timing. The right timing is very, very important. Therefore, we are not only going to refine our skills, but also we are going to cultivate our wisdom that we need to use these skills wisely. Whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned professional or simply someone looking for inspiration, one by one we will equip you with the tools and insights you need to lay the foundation of your own success stories. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. Your feedback helps us to grow and bring you even more inspiring stories. Thank you for listening to Building from the Ground Up. Remember, every great accomplishment starts with one single step. What will you build today? And until next time, keep building, keep striving, and keep reaching for your dreams.